hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?
A lot of people was talking down on this because he ain't never really put out about nothing else. You know what I mean? They're saying that he just be using his blackness. Up next, Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? Justin Bieber has definitely formulated a team to do some damage control. Diddy trial. Don Richards from Diddy Kane has recently took the stand, and the cross examiners kind of drilled her Q&A, how he was pointing out holes in her story and different things wasn't adding up and wasn't aligning for an assault charge that he had on a producer named Abe Dior. You know what I'm saying? At a nightclub called Tate Took, and feel like a lot of homies done turned on him according to some of his music. You know what I mean? Yeah, what's up? What's up? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's a fine Monday. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine Monday. Hope y'all had a good weekend. You know what I mean? Hope y'all did what y'all did. Hope y'all worked it up. And your weekend was well worth it for all the work you did during the week. You know what I mean? Hope y'all had a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all enjoyed last on Friday's episode. You know what I mean? Hope y'all enjoyed Friday's episode where I hit you with a Diddy update where he had the escorts come through, take their little testimony. The dude, Jonathan Oddie, you know what I mean, took the stand. Same dude who shot up the golf club, President Trump, back in, 2018. You know what I mean? The 11 inmates escaped from New Orleans. Escaped from prison. 11 niggas escaped from the jailhouse. Then we also touched on the Tory Lanez evidence. You know what I'm saying? The new evidence that came through that don't place him touching that pistol at all. You know what I mean? We definitely touched on how the legal scholars came through and said that Drake's lawsuit is very dangerous. Yeah. That was Friday's episode. Hope y'all enjoyed that. You know what I mean? Man, it's getting hot out here. You know what I'm saying? The heat is creeping on in. You know what I'm saying? Every day to day is getting hotter and hotter. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can tell, I'll be sweating on these motherfuckers, you feel me? But yeah, though, you know what I mean? Hope y'all enjoyed. That was episode 247. You know what I'm saying? Today, I got episode 248 for you. You know what I mean? Just some basic little Monday shit. You know what I'm saying? Cool little 4 little topics for you. You know what I mean? Today, we gonna be touching on Diddy. Definitely some more, you know what I'm saying? Some updates on the Diddy case. You know what I mean? Who took the stand recently and all that. We gonna touch on that. You know I'm gonna have a clip for you. You know what I mean? And tied to the Diddy case. Drake put a petition out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna touch on that. All of a sudden, he was showing support for his fellow Canadian. You know what I'm saying? Justin Bieber. We're gonna touch on Justin Bieber, how he has formulated his team is definitely doing some damage control. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna touch on Chris Brown. You know what I mean? Update on his arrest when he got arrested in England, out in the UK, and what's going on with the tour dates and all that, and dates for trial and all that shit. You know what I mean? So this is episode 248. You know what I'm saying? Hope all y'all doing cool. You know what I mean? Hope y'all had a cool weekend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's getting hot out here. You know what I mean? The temperature is rising. It is like 89, 90 right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hate it. I mean, I don't like the heat. I done said that before. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good, though. You know what I mean? Episode 248. Without further ado, you know what I'm saying? Up first. Oh, and if you're new here, you know what I'm saying? If you just hit that subscribe button, being that I've been gaining a little bit of subscribers, you know what I'm saying? This is your first episode. This is what we do right here on this channel. You know what I'm saying? This is where we go over headlines, news, updates, and all that. You know what I mean? Anything that is made up, went viral, that was a headline that you might have logged in on Google or YouTube, you know what I'm saying, and seen a headline hit you in your face. You know what I mean? I'm probably touching on some shit like that right here on Kons Podcast. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, you know what I mean? So Drake, you know what I mean? Drake has put out a petition for his fellow Canadian Tory Lanez. You know what I'm saying? Tory Lanez is definitely a fellow Canadian. He is also from Canada. You know what I mean? So he has put out a petition that said about 160,000 have already signed it. You know what I mean? So a lot of people was talking down on this because he ain't never really put out about nothing else. You know what I mean? And saying that he just be using his blackness whenever it's cool to use. You know what I mean? It's just somebody brought up the Black Lives Lives movement and all that. And when all that was going on, he was nowhere to be found and no type of support or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip you're about to see is just somebody that was questioning the same thing as to what I said. You know what I mean? He said, where was he at during the Black Lives Matter movement? Where was his voice heard during those times? But he's supporting Tory Lanez. You know what I mean? He's asking Governor Gavin Newsom, the mayor of Cali, to pardon him. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. But yeah, we just saying, where was this support before? Check this clip out.
I think y'all realize how crazy it is that Drake posted a change.org link to free Tory Lanez. Drake, Aubrey Graham ain't post no damn link during the BLM movement when Canada was building pipelines through indigenous land. But nah, this motherfucker gonna talk about some change.org when his mans is locked up, who at this point been in jail longer than they been cool. I mean, I think this is the part of Drake that folks don't really cover in terms of how strange he is post-beef. Just the decision making, from dissing a woman who got shot at, beginning with Aiden Ross post-Trump stream, and taking rap beef to federal court. What are we doing right now? He's literally been one of the most prominent rappers during the most turbulent time. And only time when this nigga wanna talk petitions and politics is when he in a bind. Listen, I covered the highlights, okay? I talked about the Nokia video and how I thought it was very artful. But folks talking about why is it cool to hate on Drake now? This is a red pill 38-year-old who built a fan base off of women and a black identity. Whether I cover music or not, I'ma call strange behavior strange. And this is a flip-flop. You can like someone's art and still think that. Do I think Tory did that shit? Absolutely, but it's 10 years too long. Yes, but he used the inherent distrust of black women on a national scale to gain leverage and trash her reputation in a case that she wasn't even the one that pressed charges for. And he threw this whole public charade while he lost and his dad was yelling about Rock Nation outside. Why do you niggas think that he is Lex Luthor? What if you want to just turn your brain off and bump the music? Cool, but don't be upset when others want to point out the elements.
You know what I'm saying? That was him just saying, you feel me? Where was you at when all the Black Lives Matter movement was going on? You know what I'm saying? What was your voice then? Had artists putting out songs and putting out whole anthems to what was going on, but Drake was nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? Up next, Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? Justin Bieber has definitely formulated a team to do some damage control. Know what I'm saying? He's formulated a team. He putting a narrative out there saying that he never knew Diddy and he would never fucked with him or none of that. Saying that he never groomed him, never sexual assaulted him or none of that. So he's coming out with a team that's saying that's pretty much putting him out of that. He throwing his hands up and saying he don't want no part. So his team, whoever he got on his team, is definitely doing some damage control for sure, because he don't want to partake in none of this trial. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip you're about to see is just a news report on it, and it got Harvey from TMZ speaking on the matter. Check it out.
Eyebrow raising at the time, but later, of course, when the lawsuits and the charges came for Diddy, it seemed a whole lot worse. But through it all, Justin Bieber stayed quiet. He never said a word about his relationship with Diddy until now. And he is denying that anything bad ever happened between them. The internet has been on fire with speculation that Bieber may have been sexually abused as a young teen in Diddy's entourage. But Bieber has just put an end to all of the rumors. And TMZ was the first to obtain this statement from Bieber's camp. It reads, quote, "Although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve." As for those videos, TMZ says they were all performative for public consumption, according to their sources. Their sources also say that Bieber never had a relationship with Diddy, but instead was friendly with Diddy's sons, Quincy and Justin. And all of this comes as TMZ releases a new investigative special called What Happened to Justin Bieber. I spoke about all of this earlier with my old friend Harvey Levin from TMZ. Take a look. So, Harvey, big news with regard to Justin Bieber and the week's big news, which is the Diddy trial.
Yeah, there has been a swirl on social media where people think that Diddy may have abused, even sexually abused, Justin Bieber. People are saying it online, and it's going around like crazy. And one of the reasons it's going around is because when Justin was 15, I mean, this is a long time ago, he and Diddy were on the Jimmy Fallon show, and Diddy talked about giving Justin keys to a Lambo when he became 16, and that he had been to his house, but Justin wasn't supposed to say anything about what was going on in the house, and that was followed up by Diddy and Justin in front of a house saying, "We're going to go buck wild for 48 hours. And now that we know what's going on with Diddy, a lot of people thought, wait a minute, Justin Bieber is going through some really serious mental struggles right now. I mean, you see it. And could it be that he is reflecting on what had happened to him? And so a lot of people are saying that. So we over at TMZ here have done a lot of digging on this. And we have talked to people both who were in Justin's life who are no longer there because this was a long time ago, and people who are currently in Justin's life. And they are all telling us the same thing, that nothing ever happened. That he wasn't really friends at all with Diddy. He was friends with Diddy's two sons, and that nothing ever happened. This was all performative. We contacted Justin's people, and we told them, you know, what we had gotten, and they simply said, okay, and hung up. And they called back and they said, we want to give you a statement. And they corroborated that. And they said nothing ever happened. And the reason why they were silent for the last month or two is because they said they didn't want to take away the attention from the alleged victims who were pressing cases or who were alleged victims in the criminal case. So they confirmed the story.
So it's interesting, the statement that you guys got from Justin Bieber's people, let me read a little bit of it. It says, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Look, I think we can all say that Cassie was 100% a victim of Sean Combs. We saw it on video in the hotel hallway beating. But do you think that there's a message that's going further here from Justin Bieber's camp, that there are other people who've been harmed by Sean Combs in other ways?
I think he was referring to this, and again, I don't know whether Justin wrote this, who wrote it, but I am not, jumping to the conclusion that he knows of other people, because he really didn't know Diddy. I mean, there was really no relationship there. So, is it possible that maybe he heard something? Yeah, but my God, actually, this has been everywhere for months and months and months, and people have come out. They've made allegations. He's on trial right now. There are people coming forward. Cassie Ventura's testified. Don Richards is going to testify next week. So, I just think they're reacting to what they've seen everywhere else. That's what I think.
TMZ's docuseries is called What Happened to Justin Bieber. It is streaming on Hulu.
You know what I'm saying? That was the news report. Aaron Harvey from TMZ speaking on it. You know what I mean? He said he was just cool with his kids. You know what I'm saying? Him and Diddy never really had no relationship. He never really knew him, he said. You know what I mean? So, yeah, his team is definitely putting out some damage control for sure, being that this trial is going on. I think Justin Bieber don't want no parts of that shit. On the stand recently on the Diddy trial, Don Richards from Danity Kane had recently took a stand, and the cross examiners kind of drilled her and made a strong case for Diddy's team for sure, because they was catching her and shit that wasn't really aligning up with the last time she made a testimony, or the last time she came to court with Diddy's name in her mouth. You know what I'm saying? The shit wasn't lining up, and they was pointing out all kind of little holes and different little things in her testimonies and shit like that didn't add up. So I don't know, she didn't really have such a good testimony, as good as something like what we was hearing from Cassidy. You know what I mean? So this next little clip that you're about to see is just some of the Q&A that was going on from the cross-examiners and Don Richards. You feel me? This is a little clip from Kadisha Lynn, gonna let you know furthermore on the Q&A on what was going on the cross-examination in the courtroom. Check it out.
Day 6 of the Diddy trial, and Dawn Richard is now giving her cross-examination testimony against Diddy. And let me tell you, this one is a little bit rough, but with cross-examinations, they want to try to make out that somebody is lying about what they're trying to say. So just always keep that in mind. Diddy's lawyer starts out saying, "You are aware that there is a motion to dismiss your lawsuit? I have civil lawyers. You sat with the prosecutors and your allegations have changed. I've been consistent. You testified that Diddy attempted to hit Cassie Ventura about the eggs and Miss Ventura dropped down to a fetal position? Yes. Did you ever say you heard the skillet hit the wall and you didn't see it? I don't recall. Would you agree with me that it's been hard for you to keep your story straight with the respect to the egg incident? I told it as close as I could. The day after, you say that Mr. Combs said that people could go missing? Yes. Let's go to an interview that you did on March 18th of 2025. You did not say anything about Mr. Combs telling you people could go missing. I don't recall that. No worries, I'm going to show you a document for parties only, page 5. Isn't it true that the first time you said this was a week ago? Would you like me to show you your previous interviews? I know what I said. And Dawn Richard did say this all the way back in her civil lawsuit that she filed right after Cassie Ventura filed hers. Her exact words in that lawsuit that Diddy said people end up missing, he can shelve careers and he can end artists. You said that Mr. Combs made a threat. One that you didn't recall 7 times? Let's move on to the alleged incident before the Central Park concert. You are aware that there was a camera crew? You were filmed in the park. Are you aware if the video had been turned over? No. About the weapons that you didn't tell the prosecutors about. I saw weapons at Daddy's house. They didn't ask. You never saw Mr. Combs pull out a weapon and wave it around, load bullets, or cock it. He just had it. Did you tell the government that you never saw Mr. Combs do substances? I don't recall. Your testimony has changed a lot quite a few times. As time progresses, I remember more. You saw One Stop sell the substances? You saw him take the money? Yes. Alright, 1 second. Didn't you tell the government that you have never saw anyone pay him? You lied, right? No. It was you who reached out to Mr. Combs to work with him again. Yes. But he had threatened you, right? You asked him to work with you again? Yes. Okay. The songs that you have released on your own have not reached the level of what you released with Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, right? True. And you reached out to Mr. Combs to try to make more money, right? Yes. And now it's been redirected back to the government. Why did you file your civil lawsuit? When I worked for Sean Combs, I had no sleep, and the conditions were horrible. In every meeting with the government, did you say that Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura? Yes. Why did you reach out to Mr. Combs? One of the judge on making the band, Lori Ann Gibson, I wanted to reach out. How often would you hear from Mr. Combs after you left Diddy Dirty Money? Sporadically. Why did you reach out? To help Kalina Harper. No further questions. Then it goes back to Diddy's team. You admit that you reached out to Mr. Combs to re-engage. You claim only to have a relationship with Lori Ann Gibson. But if it got back together, you would have to see Mr. Combs more, right? Yes. You sued for money, right? For justice. But the civil lawsuit asked for money, right? Yes. No further questions. This is the end of Dawn Richard's full testimony against Diddy, but y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
You know what I'm saying? That was Khadijah Lynn letting you know all about the Q&A, how he was pointing out holes in her story and different things wasn't adding up and wasn't aligning to the last time she made a testimony. You know what I mean? So that was kind of ripping Dawn Richards apart, you know what I'm saying, and her testimony. Up next, Chris Brown, you know what I mean? Chris Brown, we all know, we recently got arrested, as I covered before on one of these previous episodes. He got arrested out there in England, you know what I'm saying, out there in the UK, you know what I mean? He got out there arrested out there in the UK for a assault charge that he had on a producer named Abe Diar, you know what I'm saying, at a nightclub called Tape. You know what I mean? Apparently there was bottles being bust over heads and kicking, getting stomped on while dude was on the ground. Allegedly, Chris Brown was stomping on dude. You feel me? Pretty much, you know, just whooping his ass type shit. You feel me? Yo, excuse me. Let me interrupt this episode. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't hit that subscribe button, now is your time to do that. In the middle of this explosive, dope content that I'm bringing you know what I'm saying? Now's your time to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button, comment on whatever you like, whatever you want to comment on. Now's your time to go ahead and do that if you ain't done it already. You know what I'm saying? But definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely tell somebody else to hit that subscribe button too. You know what I'm saying? It's Kons Podcast. Let's get back to the episode. And according to the video, it was CCTV footage of such, you know what I mean? And the victim said that his team and shit of lawyers and shit that said that it was pretty bad, as they described the video, pretty serious injuries. You know what I mean? So this next little clip you're about to see is just first you're gonna see a video just of someone reporting that he was denied his bail. That's what the story is about. He was denied bail. You feel me? So he gonna remain over there in jail. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip you're about to see is just someone reporting that he was denied the bail for the day and further trial dates. He's going to remain in jail for the further trial dates also out there in England. Check this clip out.
Joanne Hurst denies him bail, citing the severity of the offense and the strength of the evidence. Brown is now facing a charge of grievous bodily harm with intent. Under UK law, this is a serious charge that can carry a sentence of up to 16 years in prison. His next court appearance is set for June 13th at Southwark Crown Court in London, where he's expected to...
As you've seen, that was him talking about it, telling you that his bail was denied, you feel me? And his team described it as very serious, is the words that they used. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be out there till June 13th, his next hearing, you know what I mean? And he had shows and shit booked for 2 days later on the 15th, you know what I'm saying? And I think the tour actually starts June 8th, you know what I mean? So he's already gonna have to refund some people due to this arrest, you know what I'm saying? This next little clip you're about to see is of Bow Wow, you know what I mean, showing some support. We all know him and Chris Brown done had some hits and made some songs and shit and toured and all that shit together, you feel me? Apparently they close homies outside of the music industry. So this is Chris Brown with a little message that he had to, Bow Wow for a message on what he had to say to Chris Brown. Check this clip out.
Another note, free Breezy, free Breezy, free Breezy. Y'all know we gonna yell it until that actually happens. It's an unfortunate situation. You know, my man went over to Manchester to start rehearsal for the tour for the Breezy Bowl, and you know, don't let my dog be great. But one thing I do know, he'll be out in no time. He'll be back doing what he do best. And like I said, man, my dog ain't bothered nobody. Man, that man been out the media, out the press for a minute. You know what I mean? He just wanna tour, please his fans, and take care of his kids. You know what I mean? Life is so simple, it really is. So shout out to my boy Brown. Hold your head, and we got you.
You know what I'm saying? That was Bow Wow with his little message on what he had to say in support of his homie Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? That's all the topics I have for today. You know what I'm saying? That's all the topics I have for today. In conclusion of today's episode, this is everything we just went over. We talked about Drake putting out a petition for Tory Lanez to be freed from jail. You know what I'm saying? We also touched on Justin Bieber is formulating a team of his that's going around trying to change the narrative and saying that Diddy ain't never touched on him, groomed on him, and none of that. Also Don Richards. We touched on how Don Richards has recently took the stand and got cross-examined. You know what I'm saying? Diddy's defense team definitely probably took a W in the trial today, you know what I'm saying, because she was getting caught up in a whole bunch of different stories that didn't align with the last time she made a testimony. Then we touched on Chris Brown with his bail being denied and having to stay out there in the jails in England and the United Kingdom till further dates. That's everything we touched on today for the closing thoughts. So for the closing thoughts, you know what I mean? First up, Drake, you know what I'm saying, out here trying to put together a petition for Tory Lanez. You know what I'm saying? Which is something cool, you feel me? That petition is cool. That's what's up. You know, as your fellow Canadian, y'all both from Canada, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Support him, you feel me? So he can have your support too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can support each other in the future. You know what I mean? Being that the L that Drake done took and feel like a lot of homies done turned on him according to some of his music. You know what I mean? So he wants support for his fellow Canadian, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. That shit is dope. I'm with the free Tory Lanez. I feel like he should be freed for show, especially with the evidence that recently that came out, which is why he put the little shit out there, you know what I'm saying, a little petition on free Tory Lanez, you know what I'm saying, which is cool. But now what the dude was saying in the clip I showed you, you know what I'm saying, is where was you at when, you feel me, when they was putting the white cops killing us black folks on the viral, on Facebook, on your snaps, everywhere you look, you seen a video, you feel me, when they was putting that shit in our faces in 2020. 2020, 2021. You know what I'm saying? We just wondering where the fuck was you at then? You know what I'm saying? Why wasn't you supporting that? You feel me? Being that you claim that you so black. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Is it just, you just say you black when it's convenient for you in the music industry? You know what I mean? Where was you at then? You had rappers and artists making whole ass songs, creating anthems for what was going on, expressing their feelings. You feel me? We had Trey Songz putting out a song that sounded like that took you right back to church. You know what I'm saying? Old black churches, you feel me? Sound like he was crying on the song when he was in the studio. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole lot of pain going around from the black community. You know what I'm saying? Expressing their feelings for what we seen, what the world was seeing. You know what I mean? The type of shit that they was doing to us in front of everybody's face. You know what I'm saying? Where was you at then? You feel me? That's all the clip was saying. You know what I'm saying? It's cool you showing that support for Tory Lanez, but it seems to only be when it's convenient for you in some sort of way. You know what I mean? Justin Bieber, you know what I'm saying, is putting together a little, formulating the team, putting it out there, trying to change the narrative, saying that, hey, he didn't touch me at all. I don't even know, dude. You know what I'm saying? So he putting it out there that he don't even know, dude. Hey, man, I was just cool with his kids. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking with Justin Kons and shit. We was fucking, goddamn it, playing PlayStation 2 and motherfucking Xbox and shit, you know. Whatever the face may be, he said he was fucking with his kids. He said he didn't even fuck with Diddy. Now, I definitely think that's his team definitely putting that shit together because of this trial shit going on, and he don't want no parts of that shit, you know what I'm saying? I think he don't want to go on the stand. He don't want to be asked to take the stand. He don't want to be part of that testimony. We all seen Justin Bieber. He out here looking fucked up, like something really going on. You know what I'm saying? Like something's mentally for real fucking with that dude. You know what I mean? For sure. You know what I'm saying? You can see it's written all over his face every time we see a clip of him or something. It's just not looking good. You know what I'm saying? So something was going on for sure. I don't give a fuck what your team is saying. Something was happening for sure. There's too many other people that got witness accounts and attesting to this shit. We all seen the shit, you feel me, in the past year or two. All the shit that came out, you feel me? So yeah, I think his team is definitely done just, you feel me, doing damage control, saying, hey, I don't want no parts of that shit. Don't call me to the stand. I don't want to come talk about Diddy and all in front of testimony and court trial, none of that. So you know what? I don't even know that nigga like that. That nigga, I ain't fucked with him. I ain't went to parties with him. I don't know nothing about none of that shit that y'all talk about on the internet, all the memes and little jokes. I don't know nothing about none of that. You feel me? So his team is doing damage control. That's what I feel for sure. I definitely feel like something for sure went on between Bieber and Diddy, without a doubt, regardless of what his team is out here changing the narrative about. You know what I mean? That's a fact. Dawn Richards went on the stand, took the stand, and they tore her apart. You know what I mean? Said that she didn't have shit aligning with the last time she came and said something about Diddy. You know what I'm saying? They cross-examined her and was saying they pretty much was pointing it out. You feel me? Y'all heard it, that it was just about the money. You know what I'm saying? Whoever the cross-examiner was pointing that out for sure. You know what I'm saying? That she even pointed out that she came to Diddy for money because she wasn't doing so good in her career. So she hit Diddy up at a time so that he can find whatever gigs or something so she can get some dollars. You feel me? So they was bringing that up. It ain't looking good. You know what I'm saying? Dawn Richards didn't have a cool testimony today at all, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? The cross-examiner was definitely showing his ass in court for sure. You know what I mean? But I mean, shit wasn't lining up. Shit wasn't lining up. You know what I'm saying? This type of shit got to line up. You feel me? And it wasn't lining up. So it's just a bad look. Chris Brown arrested out there in England for that assault for fucking dude up in the club. And look, like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? You Chris Brown can't be out here thugging, man. You know what I'm saying? You a big name. You got a whole lot to use. You got millions to lose. You know what I'm saying? People looking at you, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a good look. Can't be out here thugging like that, spazzing out in clubs and beating producers up, smacking them over the head with tequila bottles and stomping them out on the club floor. Just can't be doing like, you can't be moving like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be moving like that. Now you in a whole nother country. You know what I'm saying? In the UK. Like I said before, don't nobody want to go to jail where they ain't from. You feel me? Because then you don't know nobody. You are across the pond. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, you Chris Brown, I'm sure people know you. For sure, you know what I'm saying? So, man, you gotta watch what you're doing, man, because now you stuck. They gonna hold you in jail, deny your bond. After that, it was video of the shit. You feel me? The judge denied due to the video that was out of you fucking dude up. You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta refund niggas on your tour. You gonna be in jail for dates coming up that you had planned and booked the shit. Ain't a good look, man. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown, he definitely be trying to stay away and do his thing, though, since the Rihanna shit, you know what I'm saying? But, man, should just keep catching up to him, just like Bow Wow said, you know what I mean? Should just keep coming back, you know what I'm saying? But, and this shit is old, you feel me? This shit is like 2 years old, so should just keep coming back to find him, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate. But, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Free Tory Lanez, though, you know what I'm saying? And free Chris Brown. But that's all I got for today, though, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got for today, you know what I mean? That was just my closing thoughts on said topics in here today's episode. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You feel me? Because no matter who you are in the world, whether you was a son, a daughter, whether you was a mother, a father, a grandpa, a grandfather, you know what I'm saying? Whether you was a grandma, you know what I'm saying? Whether you was an auntie, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, you know what I'm saying? A little cousin, the older cousin, you know what I'm saying? If y'all got pets and they sit there and watch Kons podcast with you, whether your pet, you have a pet snake, whether you got a pet fox, a pet hyena, whether you got a pet hedgehog, you know what I'm saying? Whether you got a pet Cherokee or a pet parrot, you have a pet pigeon, you feel me? Whoever they may be, you know what I'm saying? As long as they got eyes on Kons podcast, I definitely fucks with them, you feel me? Like you see my nigga scrolling up the screen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know what I'm saying? As you hear that beat getting louder in the background, you know what I mean? Enjoy this slapping ass beat and enjoy these credits.
You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?
Constant content.
You hate me, don't you? Don't you? You hate me, 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 don't you?